Hello everyone, how you going? And welcome back to the place of body kits and bumper stickers, the place where your car cannot be too low or too high, place that I like to call questionable car mods, and where we all just get to laugh at these people and their ridiculous decisions. So starting off with Chevy 1-ton truck for truck. Oh no, we have seen things like this before, but that is probably the most rusty one we have seen so far. You know, at least the other one seemed as though they'd actually been made into one unit that had their own custom paint job. I remember one pretty clearly, and it was kind of this nice kind of dull green from memory, or aqua, I don't really know. But this thing is an absolute abomination. I mean, really, you can see exactly where they've chopped it. And then looking at the front here, that color seems to indicate that blue tack is holding that thing together. But no, the chassis rails in that thing must be absolutely insane. To be able to support an entire van where you actually, I imagine you're going to be using it in the middle of an already long vehicle, they must have just welded on some massive, basically, I-beams under there. Because, I mean, a vehicle of that kind of length is obviously doable. You know, you see trucks everywhere, they're all that long. But with a truck that is specifically designed, you know, there's a whole bunch of engineering and fabrication and planning that goes into making something like that, you know? You can't just go and chop the front off a van and weld it in between a pickup truck. I mean, hey, at least the dog matches the pickup truck colors, you know? It's definitely that brown and the cream, and then along with all the rust on the truck and the van, it really just does match. So maybe this is just one step further away from the dogs are just like their owners, you know? Maybe the dog owns the car and the dog has made their car, which they own, exactly like them. I feel as though that is the only case where this might be kind of considered acceptable to do. Because, you know, besides all the logistical stuff of actually having to have two cars, and now you have an infinitely long turning circle, there are just so many other things wrong with it. I know this is a joke, but damn. What am I looking at here? Oh my goodness, the entire dash. That is honestly kind of just impressive. And I really hope this music in the background isn't somehow copyright. I wouldn't be able to tell because I wouldn't be able to search it up, but oh my goodness, that is a thing or something. They've even got SpongeBob spinners. I'm just absolutely speechless about this one. The amount of money that has been spent making this a completely SpongeBob mobile is just unreal. From the headliner to the spinners to the whole, you know, the steering wheel, every single component on this car is somehow SpongeBob. So in that case, I can only imagine that every single part has to be custom, because who is making a custom SpongeBob steering wheel? Who is making custom SpongeBob spinners? You know, who's even making that fabric for the headliner? Because I mean, if it was just the outside and you could see that it was a wrap, it would be fine, you know, but this is just a completely next level thing. Like I said, just kind of the attention to detail on this. They've done every single little component, so you almost just can't say that it's bad. As well as doing the scissor doors to whatever car this is, they have also done these massive speakers in the side panel of the door. Oh my goodness. Maybe that's what's actually playing this. You know, you got to be able to pump these sick tunes while you're choosing around in your SpongeBob mobile. But yeah, I just cannot imagine being the person that got contacted to do that. Like, how do you even approach that going, look, we've got this car, we want to do this to it. So yeah, I guess it's always a good job of transforming a car when you can't even recognize what car it is anymore. Finally found one in the wild. America. Oh my god. How is that a thing? No way you found this in the wild. That almost looks as though it's photoshopped or something there. Unless that's the number plate that's been blurred out. It just looks as though it's been shoddily kind of just stuck on the front end or whatever this car is. How is that in any way, shape or form still on the road and legal? Actually, I can only imagine that it's not legal, but how is that not being just completely sent to the scrapyard because they go, no, you cannot be driving this on the road. You know, I don't exactly know what this entire giant beak is made of, but I can only imagine it's not exactly regulation of what you can put in the front of your car. Because putting something on the front of your car isn't even about, you know, looks or other people's safety. It's actually about yours, you know. Whenever people will bull bars on the front of their cars and whatnot, they have to actually be completely certified to be airbag compliant, because otherwise the airbag just won't deploy, and then you'll have like a 1960s car where you just kind of absolutely take it out because there's no kind of impact zone. Unless they've somehow argued, or I don't even know, that beak is a crumple zone. I just cannot see how this is any way remotely legal or just passes any kind of compliance test. And it doesn't even look good, you know. They seem to have a whole bunch of signatures all over it, but as well as the rest of the vehicle, it just is done so bad. You know, unless something is absolutely horrible, we kind of tend to give things that are at least done alright a bit more of a pass. But there isn't a single thing on this car that even looks decent. From the beak to the hood to these kind of wings that are just done with spray paint. I mean, the wheels are kind of alright, but they don't match at all. I have no idea what's going on in the back here with this kind of military, I don't know what it's called, but canvas cover, or not canvas cover, but tie down cover. So yeah, that has to be one of the most questionable car mods I think I've ever seen. RIP Corvette, now you're a rice vet. Ah yes, the common ricer on this sub. It wouldn't be complete without one, would it? Where it seems as though you just try and make your car as impractical as possible. You're lowering it to the ground to the point where you'd probably scrape on a 50-cent piece. They really are just always a thing of beauty. Actually, I guess it's kind of similar to the last pose, you know. That was an entire America eagle. This is just an entire American flag. Neither of them really meet the criteria for anything that I would own, but at least they're both America vehicles. But actually, I feel as though the most confusing part here is actually there's just these wheels. They seem to be kind of just stock steel rims, you know. Surely if you're going to this kind of length to kind of deck out your car or whatnot, you'd be kind of at least getting some decent rims. That was the reason I love the SpongeBob car so much, because they just absolutely went to the max. From the color scheme and the spinners and everything, it was just all done So you could at least say that they committed to the whole thing they were doing, but this person just half-assed it and just stopped at the tires. And also, we just have to talk about this spoiler because I have no idea what that thing is doing. I realize that some spoilers kind of go forward. You know, the first one that comes to mind is kind of the McLaren P1, but I feel as though if that goes forward at all, it would be barely. Whereas this thing is basically taking those old louvers that you used to get on the back of cars and just shoved it out the back. You know, they stretched it all the way from the back of the glass all the way back to the back of the boot. But I guess that's exactly what you want with these kind of vehicles, so perhaps it's actually just a car of perfection. When you failed the CDL test, but it ain't gonna stop you. This is the one. This is actually the exact one that I was talking about when I was talking about the other one that we saw. Oh my goodness, we've seen this one before, but man, that guy's speech over the top, I could not play it on YouTube, but his speech just cracks me up every time. Just look at that thing. It is absolutely insane. I don't actually know which one is longer out of this one and the other one that we saw. I almost feel as though this one might be longer, but perhaps not, because the other one had an entire van in the front. You know, maybe they're actually pretty similar. It's a bit hard to tell because obviously you can't see the whole thing at once in this video, where the other one we had a nice landscape photo where we could see the whole thing. But man, just the fact that this one has come back around and I remember it so vividly in my mind. Like I said before, I don't know what color to call this. It's kind of like a bluey green, and that's what I was trying to describe it. Man, the fact that I could remember it just that easily, it is certainly stuck in my mind, both for the reason of seeing the car and also for the guy's voiceover. This is what a Spanish Subaru looks like. What am I looking at here? Wait, hang on. That's a Renault that's been turned into a WRX. Oh my goodness, that is a full race car looking spec, you know. I remember this car from a game I played. I'll see if I can find it. Oh my god, literally it is this one. Look, this is the exact car kind of thing. I don't know what this is over here, but this is the exact car that I remember that is from the game. Look, Rally Sport Challenge 2. What an absolute gem of the game. Look at this. This is exactly what I'm thinking of when I see this thing. I mean, if we look at the two of them, they're virtually identical, really. I mean, I guess this one has yellow rims and this one has red rims and a red spoiler, but they're virtually identical. Look, this one even has the spoke style wheels just like this one does. I guess this one has a few more spokes on it, but this is one damn good recreation of that exact car that comes to mind when I see just this logo on the side of a car. But I mean, I almost feel as though this one is actually self-aware, you know. Surely you don't go to all this effort and actually kind of get details down pat if you don't actually know what you're doing, you know. I feel as though no one that would actually know what they're doing would unironically do this to a Renault. And I even just love the fact that they've got the Renault Sport logo here, you know. I think that's the driver and the navigator's names and the flag. They really just have included every little detail in this, haven't they? Even just down to the fact that they've got Michelin branding on it. I mean, if we have a look at the other one, oh, actually it's Pirelli, it's not Michelin, so they did get the wrong one there. And also just the fact that they're not really running Michelins. I think that's a little bit of a, you know, there's something going wrong with the brand deal. But no, like I said, I just feel as though this has to be self-aware, and so it kind of gets a pass in a way. It's kind of brilliant. You know, realistically, if you just wanted to get attention while you're driving past in your car, stuff by a Lamborghini or anything like that, no, you should just buy a Renault and do this to it. You'll get way more looks that way. What the hell? Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen more gauges on a single car than that. And especially on a Citroen of all things. This is kind of like the last one. There we go. Let's look through all these photos. So we've got a massive RPM gauge, it looks like. All the boost gauges and all the other gauges on the side there. Oh my goodness. And of course it looks like that. That is honestly one of the most ugly cars I've ever seen. You can really just see the original shape of the car and then just what they have done to it with bodywork. Oh, what else have we got? Oh my goodness. And I feel as though it's only got worse at the back. Those lights are literally just vertical 4GT lights. Like, look, that and that. They've just kind of put an extra one and put it above that, and you have literally an identical light. And then actually, look, they've even got this central exhaust coming out the back, the dual exhaust. I don't know if there's another photo that shows it. Okay, I was going to say, if these scoops actually are flying buttresses, like in the 4GT, where you have these massive air gaps here, that just would have been absolutely insane to see. You wouldn't have been able to say that it is a model on a 4GT. But oh my goodness. I feel as though I just have to admire the interior first, because like I said, you have 1, 2, 3, that's custom, 4, 5, 6 gauges all up there that are brand new. None of the original center cluster is still there. You just have this massive tachometer there. All the switches down the bottom for boost and everything like that. So you're already in a mindset of going, what am I looking at? And then you see that. Like, really, just what am I looking at there? It's almost as though they took a Prius and made it like an Aventador, you know, with just all the angles and everything like that. Someone has just gone completely overboard of this car and just had cash to splash on whatever they wanted. I'll just take every single body panel I can. I feel as though there really is no other way to describe it besides that title, is there? So hey, I can only imagine that there's something else under the engine, you know. Like it says, who wouldn't want a Toyota Telsa with an LS V8 swap in it? And I feel as though this car, especially with all these gauges, certainly has something different under the hood. Some trends just won't die. Oh no. Wait, is that a Beetle? Yeah, that must be one of the new Beetles. Yeah, I mean, hey, I certainly don't think it looks good, but compared to what we've seen on the previous posts of this sub, I feel as though I'm just completely numb to this. After I see this, and then I go to this, and I go, hang on. I mean, sure, like you said, it's a trend, and it's been done a whole bunch of times, and yeah, it doesn't look good, but come on, people, like, really. I reckon it's kind of equal to putting the little devil horns on the Mazda badge, or having reindeer antlers out their windows at Christmas time or whatnot. It's all just kind of that tiny little cosmetic stuff, and really, it's on a Beetle as well. Like, real, I feel as though if you're going to do it to any car, the Beetle just has to be the best choice for this. It just has the right kind of personality to be able to pull this off, and, you know, it looks alright, but not too bad. But really, putting eyelashes on a car like that really just does seal your fate about the demographic of driver, doesn't it? Drawbridge car. Alright, fair enough. You know, we got the standard just weld the doors on, no worries. Hang on. Oh my goodness, I just saw what happened. Oh my goodness. I'm surprised this hasn't been done before, you know. It's almost like it's completely inconvenient to get in and out of when there is actually something you can't stand on. Let alone all the extra work and welding you have to do to be able to do this, you know. You got to weld all the doors together. You got to install an entire winch on the top of your car and be able to drive it and power it. How you even draw enough power for that engine, I don't even know. But man, is it a project and a half to be able to do something like that. Just even the fact that it's two separate doors, and then they goes and does this. Just go and chop any little bit of steel tubing, it'll be fine, and then weld it on, you know, spray paint it up, it'll look great. But kind of like all for taste but great execution, it's just kind of impressive that someone even thought about this. I mean, hey, at least this hasn't been done to some kind of nice car or something. I guess if we look at this kind of ending bit, I'm just surprised someone like Rolls-Royce hasn't done it, you know. If we look at Rolls-Royce doors, you know, they have these exact doors, I don't know what they're called, but they're kind of open to the center of the car, and this video is just really taking it to the next level, you know. You just suddenly have one gigantic door, kind of like in the Koenigsegg Chimera. So really, perhaps this guy's actually just a genius, and the drawbridge car is going to catch on as a thing. You gotta start seeing this on hyper luxury and hypercars all over the world, mark my words. Oof. Oh no, I pray for this man tires at his taste. Oh, good God. Look at the camera on that. And to a Honda as well. It's not even like some crazy, I don't know, Skyline or something. It's just a Honda, my man. How can you be doing that to a Honda? You're not going to be getting some kind of crazy speeds around a corner in a Honda that is going to be able to make that anywhat effective. You're just going to be wearing the sidewall of your tires out. Like, look at the angle that that thing is on. There would be virtually zero tread on the ground right here. Like I said, it would just be all sidewall. My goodness, the fact that it even drives is just impressive. Because it's not even just the fact that it's the wheels, it's all the other components that have to be changed, you know, from the suspension and the steering geometry and all that other stuff that has to change to be able to accommodate wheels like that. I just don't understand it the slightest. I mean, I guess I understand it in the way that people do it, to just ever so slightly to kind of, I don't know, raise the wheel up for cornering or whatnot, but not to that degree. Come on. The little tag he says, I don't know what this guy's been eating, but his taste is just awful. Really, you just must be loaded to be able to pull a car like this off, because you just be going through a new set of tires every single week. Unless you don't even drive the car anywhere, but then I guess what's the point of even doing it in the first place? These cars are only ever show cars. So yeah, I wonder where this is. Oh, actually, it looks like Five Guys in the background, so I guess it's in America. Because man, the amount of posters we actually see of cambered wheels are just insane. Because I've actually never seen one in real life, and I can only imagine that's because the New South Wales government would just absolutely come down on you so hard if you do this to your car. But actually, I guess before we conclude this post, we should probably have a moment's silence for this man's tires, because, oh man, it's just the poor things. I've been saving my first post for this moment. Oh my goodness, what am I looking at? This is another wacky racers car. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting to have those tires hiding under those wheel arches. That is donking to the absolute maximum, because it's not even just big tires, it's the tread pattern too. Oh my goodness, that is an impressive first post, isn't it? Because I wonder if there's actually anything stock on this car, you know? Obviously they can't make up their mind on whether they want to be low to the ground or up high, because they've got a Corvette looking car, which is a low car, and then put massive, I don't know, like 35-inch tires on it. You know, just look at the amount of lift that they have on this thing. I don't know if that's a gutter or whatnot, but if that is a cutter, that would probably usually crash into it. But look at the amount of aluminium sheeting that actually protrudes below, and it doesn't even come close to touching the ground. And then also I have no idea what's going on with this jet engine looking front hood scoop or whatnot. I mean, I guess the back looks a little bit practical in a way, in terms of, you know, it seems to be able to store something, obviously not undercover, but it looks as though if you really wanted to, you could probably put something in there. But I just really have no idea who would be driving such a car, you know? Like I said with the Beetle, I feel as though you kind of generally figure out what's going on and who would be driving it, but this one, you know, like some kind of psychopath who would be driving this. Because really, I just don't want to know how much money they've spent on doing this, because it doesn't even look that good, but I'm sure to be able to do this to a car, it cost an absolute mozza. So yeah, I guess what? Somewhere to burn, that is one hell of a good first post, isn't it? And so finally, the top of questionable car mods for the month is, what is this? What is that? What am I looking at? Why does it look like there's been a car that has been smushed into another car with a car compactor? Well, like, how does it even work? How does it drive? Is that a door panel? That looks like a piece of plywood. Is that a first aid kit that is completely rusting away? I mean, even though Walmart's saying that it's a pickup truck, I just don't think it is. You know, I'm just even looking at it going even down to the little things like, does this one work? Or is there some other random one on the blue car to be able to fill up the tank? My God, how do people even just come up with these ideas? I wish we had a 360 view of this, or at least a couple more photos, just so we could see all of the randomness that has gone into this car. Like, I want to see how the front end works with the two cars kind of melting into each other and whatnot. And also what kind of position the driver sits in, because if it's on that angle, that would just be a mad kind of angle to sit on. Honestly, I just have to sit back and admire this thing for a sec, because there's just so much to take in. You know, I don't even recognize what kind of car they would have been in the first place. Obviously, it says down here Chevrolet, I believe, so that is some kind of Chevy, but the top car is just so not a car anymore that it's just impossible to tell what it is. You know, I'm sure someone out there can probably tell what it is, but I just have no idea. It is just an absolute Frankenstein's monster of a car. But hey, I guess they're being safe by carrying around a first aid kit and whatnot. Or perhaps maybe there were just so many sharp edges all around the car from when they just crushed two cars together that they actually just need a whole stock of band-aids and whatnot. You know, they're just constantly bandaging up their wounds and whatnot, because looking from the outside, I just can't see how the inside of that car would be any better. So yeah, like I said before, it is honestly impressive what people can come up with when they put their mind to it. Or maybe in this case, actually zero mind was put to it, but they still had an end result, and that's impressive. But anyway, that is going to do it for the topic questionable car mods. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do the usual round and look at things down below. You know, I've been posting a whole bunch of these videos, and there's some pretty awesome posts out there, so maybe you want to check some of the other ones out, or maybe you just want to consider subscribing so don't miss another one in the future. But all in all, have a good one, and see ya.